Alright, it's time to build a snow bike. Same one from last year. It's going to look different. I'm hoping this tank fits. A little oversized tank this year. So there's the same kit I ended up with last year. Rode it for about a month and made a few tweaks, had a few things done there. Those are new wheels in the back. I had to replace that. That was kind of a long story. I have a dedicated brake caliper now, thanks to jacking up my other one. Found that on eBay, so now I just put a dedicated one. Man, I can't believe how expensive brake lever is. The whole setup, kind of stupid expensive just for that. It doesn't seem like, I don't know, maybe I haven't found the aftermarket ones that work yet, but anyway, I kind of like to have a shorter lever. But anyway, that's a dedicated lever there, stock part. And otherwise, big box there, some new plastics. This thing's going to look quite a bit different. So even though there's no snow on the ground, it's almost Thanksgiving, and I think we're about to get going. So I'm gonna convert this over. It's time. I'm feeling it. Note the left-hand rear brake I had to pull off too. That was routed on the outside, so I got the plastics off. Okay, next step, see if this thing fits. Oh, and by the way, why is this here big flathead screwdriver is my go-to tool for everything? It seems like I've had so many issues that this big bowl driver flathead, I'm always pulling for that. And the other thing too is those Milwaukee channel locks are a go-to tool all the time. I'm using those. I don't get it. Okay, I didn't think this was gonna fit, this oversized tank, but I think I got a way to kind of tip it up a little bit and make it work. So we'll see how that goes. I really would like to use it, even though in theory it's better to run more weight back here with fuel. Keeps it lower to the ground. It's kind of tucked up under center of gravity. I really would like to have that extra capacity right up there, and it kind of fills in some gaps that are really don't interfere with anything. So, and plus you don't have to fill the tank all the way. So at least it gives you an option to run more up there. Plus I like the clear tank, be able to see how much is left. So I'm going to see if I can make that work. I think it'll work. Okay, this year I'm going to run a C3 intake here. In the past I used a frog skin cover like this, cut out some of the foam, and it worked good enough. I never had it just drown out my engine with snow getting inside of there, but yeah, the intake would just have I don't know, it just always concerned me because there was a lot of snow and ice would get down in there, especially if you let it sit for a while. That ice would sit down, or the water would sit down in there and then freeze up. Again, never caused a problem, but I was constantly worried about all the snow kind of packing into here and sitting on top of this and always brushing it off. So I figured I'd go with the intake this year. So I am going to pull this apart and put this in it. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, I got to get to that clamp at the base of this, and it looks to be a, I'm not sure what size that is, a 4, but it is a hex. Yeah, it's kind of an odd angle, and I got these radiator guards on, but that's working. So this is a 4, and I got one of those that has that ball end on it because it's an odd angle for sure. So it looks like I'm getting it that way. There we go. Between the pushing and pulling, I was able to pop that off. It's coming. There we go. There it is. And that's the way that sat in there. Oh, it's a fighter jet mask. All right. Okay, the intake is in. You can see the 2 clamps down in there. And had to roll the double filter. This is like a double outerwears type of filter. I heard that's the key. I don't know if you can see there's one inside of there. So having 2 allows enough air to flow through and kind of the snow to slough off of there. And it all should fall according to gravity out of there as you're going. And I just got to figure out what I'm going to do here to close off. They say you can just close off stuff something in the intake vents here because you'll get enough air, I guess. So you can see the clamps. I ended up, I think it takes was it a 6? Oh, I took the wrench away. It's a smaller metric, like a 6 or 7. But I got this at the right angle, long screwdriver, ultimate tool. I could get that one on there. And anyway, got that on, rolled that off. It's kind of like just pushing a sock on. It's kind of hard, maybe a tight wet sock or condom, if you will. I tried actually rolling it out like that, and I think it helped a little bit. But anyway, it's kind of a tight fit, as it should be. And got it down, cinched down to the bottom. And I'm excited about having this work. and it doesn't stick up above the cap. This cap fits over the top of it, so that will save some on the noise, which is supposedly a problem. But anyway, I'm going to add the plastics, modify this tank, see if it all fits together right. Okay, this was the tip I got from Outlaw Motorsports, Enterprise, Oregon. I took a 1/4-inch drill bit, and with the rear fender mud flap off, this is what this is a Cerebus plastic, but anyway, OEM looks similar. It's got this little notch in there, and so I just drilled a 1/4-inch hole right there, run a zip tie, and that keeps it. I'll run it loose so it can have a little play, but it keeps it away from that exhaust. And I got a Yamaha reusable zip tie on this one, so I'll run that just like that. And then I'm going to route this. Going to tuck it up under here, and I'm not sure how I'm going around the bars because I don't want to have to break the brake lever. So I want to keep it bled, and so I'm going to probably jimmy rig it up through here or something, but I'll figure that out once I get to that point. But this will come out, stay out of the way nicely. I'll just tuck it up under there. So this 2.6 tank, you can see it barely has any clearance, like maybe a credit card width, or millimeter or so. So I got it raised up just a little bit, added a little spacer in here, and I think this seat I'm going to use will kind of contour into that and work, but we'll see. Everything's pretty tight in there, but I think it's going to work. I also had to move this, what's it called, a capacitor or something, I don't know, whatever that thing is. I kind of moved it off of the original peg right there, which is pretty tight anyway with this oversized tank, and I moved it down and zip tied it so it's kind of down there a little bit more out of the way. Anyway, that's the setup there, and we'll cross our fingers this might work. Okay, I got the ski on, and now I do some adjustments on the shocks and to stiffen up the rebound and dampening. I go clockwise 7 clicks on the bottom. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And on the top, clockwise, I do 5 clicks. 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. And these are stock springs, but I do have an Air Pro. And I've been running 15 in the Air Pro, and up or down, give or take. It's better to set it at the trailhead, but I'm using a regular mountain bike shock pump, which doesn't go that low, but I just use an alternate gauge that does go low. But anyway, this is better to do, you know, at the elevation you're usually riding at. So I actually like running it a little bit harder anyway, so I'll go 15, and then might be a little harder. I can always let some out. Although I found that these Air Pros, you can't just control it very easy and pop a little air out. It's better to have a gauge. Now I'm almost done. I just need to finish off some plastic, so check this out. Channeling some Ronnie Mac, sawed it off, except opposite Ronnie Mac. Sawed off the back. I've been wanting to do this a while, because usually there's like ice and some snow built up on the frame there, and there's hardly any tolerance, and this kind of sweeps back and forth, and I just wanted to clear all that out. So instead of a hacksaw, though, I actually took a Dremel tool with a cutoff wheel. Just kind of took that off. I might be taking off more, but anyway, it's a new front fender. Okay, I'm taking my time with this build. Snowbike. Just got some finishing touches to do, but I really wasn't in a hurry, just having fun doing it. But now I'm a little more motivated. This will be the first round. We need probably a couple rounds of snow to get a base in. So I'll be patient. I don't have to be out there first thing, but it'll be soon enough. Okay, I've got a few more things on. And this here, since the C3 intake doesn't need all the airflow, they say just block it off. So I used a pool noodle, did some handcrafting of it. And I'm just going to completely block off that area, because it looks to me like there would just be a lot of snow sitting around in there, and I don't want to deal with the melt and freeze in that, so I'm just blocking that off. Then, whoops, forgot I lost a retaining bolt there, or washer. And I'll just run this bad boy on it. Also put on the Adventure foot pegs. These were great last season. They were great when I cut the middle bar out. They weren't as good before that because they were packing with snow, but they were a pretty good platform. The snow tends to kind of sit in here, but there's enough sitting out here, and these pegs are really really grippy, so I didn't have any problems last year. Although C3 has a great design, but Adventure foot pegs by Promoto Billet. I talked to a reliable source, insider there. Sounds like they're coming out with a new one that's basically going to be like that, but it's going to be Adventure foot peg made for snow. So I'm already ahead of their engineers in removing that bar. So we'll have a nice cleaner appearance, and Also on the YZ, these are supposed to have a high and a low setting in my long legs. I really wanted to go with the low setting, and I tried that, and it was a complete fail. It snapped off the springs. And then I found out from them that yeah, it doesn't work on the YZ, even though in the instructions they didn't indicate so, but they were good to send me out some free springs, and I just had to go with the regular stock upper position, so that was disappointing, but never really noticed it too much. I just ride around in fetal position, no problem. Anyway, these are good. I like them. They're not cheap though. Should get a discount for removing some material there. Anyway, they're supposed to come out, I heard, with a new one. Anyway, that's how I routed everything. I got this to, I think, work. Not much room there. And last thing, I think, is the new handguards. And I'm good to go. Alright, I know what you're saying, Prof. You need a bigger shop so you don't have to stoop over, crawl around stuff. Yeah, but haven't you ever heard of tiny houses? This thing is so small, it's really quick to heat up on those cold days in winter. Just get the little heater butter going and right away, good to go. But you're right, it'd be sweet having a big shop, nice heated shop. Maybe someday. So I just added the new hand guards. I think they're, let's see, they're called X Factor. I think the Unico ones, I don't know if they make these anymore, but this is what I was using. See, there's about the same coverage there, although they are completely solid, no holes like that. And they wrap around a little bit more, which should be a little better. But I kind of like the look of them too. Looks sweet. But I did like having more grab bar to grab here because I'm always pulling up the bike here. So I don't know. I suppose I can grab it from underneath. We'll see how that works out. But the other thing was the final touch I forgot about. Had to add the snow plate. I really do like the setup here, so I had to, you got to remove a few bolts. I zip tied it right there, and otherwise it is set up. I need to fix that a little bit. So that's good to go. I really like this over an engine jacket because the snow just kind of falls off of it and it melts out the back. I think it's a better setup than just a complete blanket there, because I think the blankets just make it too hot. This allows for enough the snow not to pack in there and fall out of it. So that's the setup there. Worked really good last year, so in my second year on this, held up nicely. So I think we're about ready to go. I'm just going to add on a few bags and gas can and I'm good. It's about ready. Okay, I'm finally unboxing these juice jugs. Officially, they're juice jugs, but clearly they are going to carry some toxic fluids for humans. This is a small version. I mean, the regular Yeti can is a bit large. Usually don't carry that much extra gas, and so it's, with my oversized tank, I can on shorter days go with this bad boy. Alright, so this one goes on the more traditional way. Well, since I'm not sponsored by these guys and I paid a lot of money to get them down here from Canada, your sponsorship goes here.